Hello students, I am Chavi, English mistress in Government Middle School Ballakala, Block Morinda, District Rupnagar. Students, today I am here to make you learn the poem. But before starting to read the poem, I want to ask a question. Do you like poems? You all must be thinking whether you like it or not. And I know the most of the answers would be no. I know the reason as well. Poems are difficult to comprehend. It is difficult to get the meaning out of the poems because every person has different meaning and different understanding of the poem. It depends on his thought. What does the person think the poet could meant? So, today we will do the poem "The Earth Needs You." This is the very first poem in your new book of English. And that is second number, lesson 2, poem "The Earth Needs You." Before I tell you the meanings of the words you are going to read in the poem, look at this picture. What do you think? What can this picture be? You can see in the left part, you can see the earth suffocating. There is garbage all around. But in the right side, there are two pictures full of greenery. The students are playing on the earth. What do you think is the difference in these pictures? Absolutely right. The difference is that of the pollution. In the left side pictures, you can see the polluted earth. You can see the plastic bottles. You can see the flames coming out. You can see the earth suffocating, dying. But on the right side, you can see the greenery, the clear nature, the clear environment. So this is the main gist of the poem. You are going to read this point of the earth in your poem. Now, let me introduce you to the poem. "The Earth Needs You" is a poem consisting of 6 stanzas. It tells us about the most prominent reason of pollution on earth, and that is use of plastic. Not all the plastics, it is about the single-use plastic. In this poem, the poet awares us about the change needed in our lives to save earth from becoming a dreadful place to live in. The poet tells us that only we can do this by changing our habits day by day. Yes, students, now our earth is a dreadful place to live in. There is pollution all around the earth. People are dying of pollution. Diseases are spreading every day. New diseases coming out of pollution. And who can control it? We, the people living on this earth, can control this. But how? We will read this in poem. Before we read the poem, note down the words that will come in the text of the poem and their meanings. Pre-reading, learning new words. First one is single use. Single use. It means designed to be used once. Designed to be used once. Second word is lasts. Lasts. And it means stays or lives. Third word is forever. Forever, which means for always. For always. Fourth word is cheap. Cheap. It means low in price. Low in price, which means the thing that is in your budget, it is cheap. Next word is and up. And up. It means to reach unexpected place. To reach unexpected place. Sometimes we threw the paper somewhere, but it flies away with wind on another place and stays there forever. It means it is ending up there. Next word is oceans. Oceans. Now you tell me, what are oceans? Yes, large expanse of water. Large expanse of water. Next word is tangles. Tangles, which means sticks. Sticks. When something twists with other thing, it tangles there. Last word is drop. Drop. It is not the drop of water. It means throw. Throw. So, these are the difficult words you are going to read in the text of the poem. Now, let us read and enjoy this poem, and that is, The Earth Needs You. Listen to me carefully. How do I pronounce each and every word so that it can be easy for you to learn the poem and recite it? Let's start. The earth needs you. The earth needs you to change your ways. The earth needs you to change your ways. Month by month, day by day. Month by month, day by day. The changes are easy. The changes are easy. Just look and you will see. Just look and you will see the differences that can be made. The differences that can be made by you and by me. By you and by me. Single-use plastic. Single-use plastic lasts almost forever. Lasts almost forever. It might be cheap. It might be cheap, but it's not very clever. But it's not very clever. It can end up in oceans, rivers, and seas. It can end up in oceans, rivers and seas. The wind sometimes carries it. The wind sometimes carries it, and it tangles in trees. And it tangles in trees. When people drop it on the ground, when people drop it on the ground, this is not where it stays. This is not where it stays. It travels around. It travels around. If people used less, if people used less, the better place the world would be. The better place the world would be. The future is in our hands. The future is in our hands. Cut down and you will see. Cut down and you will see. So, this is the text of your poem. This is the poem whose author is not known, whose poet or poetess is not known. It is not known who has written this poem. So that's why here it has been mentioned anonymous. In the name of the poet or poetess, it is written anonymous. Now, the summary of this poem. Now I am going to summarize the poem in simple words so that you can understand the gist of this poem. The poem, "The Earth Needs You," has a deep meaning. It is a request by the planet Earth to the people living on it. It is pleading us to change our lifestyle so that we can save the dying planet, so that we can save the dying planet. The change needed is very simple. The change needed is very simple, but we have to see it by ourselves. We should stop using single-use plastic, as it is not biodegradable. It is cheap but not smart, as that which merges in the soil by itself. When anyone throws it on the ground, it travels around the world, but do not perish, but it does not die. So, we should start using less plastic to make our future healthier, because it is the main pollutant on the earth. Yes, students, you can see how the plastic is polluting our earth. It is the most prominent pollutant on the earth. We are using plastic in our daily lives. In every work, we use plastic. Look around, you will see the number of things made up of plastic, and that is very wrong. We should replace the plastic with a thing that is biodegradable, that can be reused properly, that can be recycled properly. But plastic is not like this. So, we should think about this. Only we can change the world. Only we can save our earth. So, students, now you people think how can we replace the plastic and with which thing we can replace the plastic. Now, we will do the post-reading activities. Vocabulary expansion. When we substitute a group of words with only one word of the same meaning, that is called one word substitution. Now, let us do one exercise, that is, substitute these words with one word. Here you must be seeing there is a group of words or phrases written on the left side and their one word substitution is written on the right side. You people note it down in your copies and learn it. First, a game in which no one wins. A game in which no one wins. So, that is called draw. Yes, you must have read this word, draw. The match has been drawn because no team, either of team has won that match. Second, a list of books available in the library. A list of books available in the library. So, what is that list called? Catalog. Catalog. Absolutely right. Third, something written by an unknown person. Something written by an unknown person. You have read recently in this poem? Anonymous. Very good. Anonymous. Next, a person who can speak many languages. A person who can speak many languages. A person who speaks more than one language, more than two languages, what is that person called? He is called polyglot. Polyglot. So, students, tell me, are you people polyglot or not? Think about it. Are you polyglot or not? Next, the art of beautiful handwriting. The art of beautiful handwriting. That is called calligraphy. Calligraphy. Something that can be heard. Something that can be heard. That is called audible. Audible. Next, a place where clothes are kept. A place where clothes are kept. You keep your clothes in almiras, right? And these are also called wardrobe. Wardrobe. Next, a person who eats too much. A person who eats too much. Yes, gluten. Gluten. Who is the gluten in your class? One who practices one of the fine arts. One who practices one of the fine arts. That person is called artist. Artist. And the last one is a person who does not know how to read and write. Who does not know how to read and write is called illiterate. Illiterate. Students, don't be illiterate. Learn to read and write. Now, we will do some of the questions related to your poem. First one is, who is you in the first line of the poem? Who is you in the first line of your poem? Think about the first line. The earth needs you. The earth needs you. You is used for whom? Options are the poet, the poet. Second, the reader or the people. The reader or the people. Second question is, what does the earth want from human being? What does the earth demand from you people? First, to change the ways of living or to change the planet? Third, what differences can you and I make to save the earth? Options are using the pollutants. Second, avoid using the pollutants. Now, let us check their answers. Who is you in the first line of the poem, The Earth Needs You? Tell me, who is you? Yes, the reader or the people. Second, what does the earth want from human being? It wants to change the ways of living. Third, what differences can you and I make to save the earth? What changes can we make? We can avoid using the pollutants. Very good. Next, what are some single-use plastic things that we buy and use? What are these things? Carry bags and water bottles or geometry box and mugs? Next, but it's not very clever. What according to the poet is not very clever? Who is not clever in this poem? Single-use plastic or the earth? Next, what happens to the single-use plastic after it is thrown? When we throw single-use plastic on the earth, what happens? It mixes with soil or it lasts almost forever? Now, let us check their answers. What are some single-use plastic things that we buy and use? These are carry bags and water bottles. Next, but it's not very clever. What according to the poet is not very clever? Who is not clever in this poem? Very good. Single-use plastic is not very clever. Next, what happens to the single-use plastic after it is thrown? What happens with it? It travels almost everywhere and it lasts almost forever. Next, where does the single-use plastic end up? Where does it end up? On the mountains, in oceans, rivers and seas. Eighth question, does it stay where you throw it? And options are no, yes. Last one, what does the poet want you to cut down? What does the poet want you to cut down? That is use of single-use plastic or use of biodegradable plastic? Now, let us check the answers. Where does the single-use plastic end up? Tell me. Yes, it ends up in oceans, rivers and seas. Does it stay where you throw it? Does it stay? No. What does the poet want you to cut down? What does the poet say to cut down? Very good. Use of single-use plastic. Now, we will do the rhyming pairs of words. These are way, day, forever, clever, forever, clever, seas, trees, ground, around, and the last one, C, B. These are the rhyming pairs you will find in your poem. Now, as homework, I am going to give you a short paragraph, that is pollution. You can take the help of these hints to write down a paragraph. Note down these hints in your copies. First one is environment. Second one, harmful. Third one, use of plastic. Next, vehicles, factories, etc. Vehicles, factories, etc. Next, types of pollution. Those are water, earth, air, etc. Next, affects health. Affects health. Next, diseases. Diseases. And the last one is how to control. How to control the pollution. So, students, write down a short paragraph using these hints on pollution and get it checked from your teachers. You can also take the help of your teachers. So, this was the poem, The Earth Needs You. It is just a request to us to save the planet Earth so that we can live it on calmly. It is a worth living planet. No other planets are worth living. We can't go on Mars, we can't go on Jupiter to live on. This is the only planet where we can live, but only when we will make it possible. So, this was your poem, The Earth Needs You. I hope you enjoyed it. This PPT is represented and prepared by Chavi, English Mistress in Government Middle School, Ballankala. Thank you. It is the big initiative taken by Department of School Education, Punjab. Thanks.